Hey, welcome back to my channel. I am coming to you from my garage in my house because I wanted to talk about something I normally don't talk about in my videos. I normally just review movies, but with all the hype surrounding the Tiger King series, I broke down and watched this dumpster fire of insanity. And I just finished yesterday. Now my wife's on it. We watched the first episode again last night. For me, the second time, for her the first, because I said, you gotta watch this shit. Because it's so I'm just gonna give my thoughts on it. But first, I'm gonna say I had a drink to get through this freaking commentary because I'm supporting. I'm from Pennsylvania originally. I grew up 20 minutes from Yuengling Brewery, so I'm supporting a hometown brewery plus the oldest American brewery in the country. If you've never had Yuengling, I like their lager. They have some other beers too that I like. If you've never had it, they're not available in every state, but they're in a bunch of states. If you've never had Yuengling, give it a shot. I think you'd probably like it. And Yuengling, they've been around for a long, long time. Like I said, America's oldest brewery. So yeah, check them out. And I'm enjoying my lager right now. Anyway, the Tiger King. What can I say? Joe Exotic. These people in this movie, the big cat people. There's nothing wrong being a redneck. I come from an area that has tons of rednecks. Okay, but these people take redneck culture, so you will, and take it to a whole other level that nobody will ever be able to freaking reach ever again. After the first episode, I was dumbstruck and fascinated by the shit I saw, and I can't believe it's real. Now, some of it, stuff like this, they usually play up some of the worst parts. Now, I heard an interview with the sheriff, and he seemed like one of the few normal people in the whole goddamn show. And he said there's crazier stuff that they didn't even put in the documentary. So they're probably going to make a sequel. And for how popular it is, I'd say probably, yeah, you're going to see a sequel to it down the line. He said there's shit they didn't even talk about on it that he knew about. So yeah, expect a sequel, folks. I'm sure there will be one eventually, maybe a year down the line. But what to say about Joe Exotic? I'm just gonna kind of briefly go over some of the stuff. The players, Joe Exotic owned this big ass freaking zoo on his property in Oklahoma, and he had, I think he said 217 tigers at one point, and some other various exotic animals. And people would pay to go and lay with a baby tiger and play with it, and I'm thinking, what in the frick is going on here? And then you have this lady in Florida who has a tiger rescue. Carol Baskins is her name. Now I have no facts. This is just my opinion on what I saw. And people accused her. She had an ex-husband. She's married again. That's her last name is Baskins now. It wasn't before. Her ex-husband had a bunch of money and land, and they were buying cats, and he was selling cubs. This is when it was legal. I don't think he can do it now. I think it's illegal now. And they said up to $7 million or more, but at least $7 million he was worth. And he all of a sudden disappeared. And the way the show presents it, I'm just going to go with Carol at this moment. I would say she's the prime suspect. She had motivation. They weren't getting along at this time before he disappeared. And she had the one to profit from it. She got all the assets. She got all the money pretty much. So I would say, and she had the perfect way to dispose of the body. They never found the body, so they couldn't pin it on her. I'd say she probably did it because she seems off to me. I mean, she comes off as this kind of soft-spoken, hippy-dippy kind of chick. But you can see underneath there's something there. I don't know if she did it, but I wouldn't be surprised if they find out eventually that she actually did kill her ex-husband. And as for Joe Exotic, all I see is a redneck who got popular. And at the beginning, and this might not have been the case, I believe he really did care about the cats. He wanted them and take care of them, but I think this is just my opinion. This might not be the case at all. This is my take from the docuseries. Who knows? This guy might not give a shit at all. But as the show goes on, you can see him caring less and less and more about the fame that he was getting. The little fame he was getting, to him it was a big deal, and he craved it. You could tell. He's like putting a show on to the camera. He was very charismatic in a redneck kind of way. And then they introduced you to this doctor, I don't remember his last name, in South Carolina, Myrtle Beach. And I remember seeing him on Letterman and Leno, maybe. And I know he trained animals for movies. I think his place got raided last year though, and he was totally running a cult. Although he was very charismatic and he was very knowledgeable, but he basically had a cult of young women working for him that he was sleeping with all of them. It was very bizarre, very bizarre. The guy definitely knew his stuff, but he was definitely a cult leader in my opinion. Definitely, just the way he would train these women to do different things, and it ended up being sleeping with all of them. It's just very bizarre. I know he got at the end of the show. They said he got raided last year for something. I don't know what he got in trouble for. But as the show goes on, you meet these cast of characters around Joe Exotic, and they're all kind of misfits. Some of them got out of prison, didn't have nowhere to go, or had nothing going on in life, and he went to work for him. He took them in, paid them, put them up in trailers in the back, not the best of conditions, mind you, but he gave them somewhere to stay. And they worked the park for him. They put on tiger shows, and they fed him, and they moved them around, and they had their own little community going. But Joe, in his own right, was sleazy as well and doing shady shit behind the scenes, it seemed. Although compared to the other two, he might have been the most real, maybe. I don't know. But it was all flash. I don't know. Joe was full of shit too, let's be honest, in my opinion. Carol's full of shit. I mean, she's doing good work, but still, if she did kill her husband, doesn't matter how many tigers you save. If you killed your husband, you're a piece of shit. So if they find out she did it, she should go to prison. I mean, obviously, human life matters, and if you killed somebody, you should go to jail. So if she did that, who knows? I heard they reopened the case. They're looking at it again. In my opinion, she's the prime suspect. But we're talking about Joe Exotic here. This is what all that. And Joe's sitting in jail now because he supposedly hired somebody to kill Carol Baskins. And the guy who got involved from Vegas is wannabe rich guy who was leasing this mansion and leasing these cars and really didn't have the amount of money that he had. You could tell he was a shyster and a scumbag too. He was very soft spoken and very well spoken, but you could tell he's a shady character, and everybody he went into business with hated him afterwards. He always had a falling out, so he was screwing everybody over. And I think he screwed Joe, and in a way he might have even helped facilitate Joe getting arrested. I think Joe did want this guy to kill Carol Baskins, but I think these two gentlemen worked together to get the dirt on Joe, to get him out of the way and put him in prison. Joe's definitely at fault as well, but these guys should be in prison too, from everything I've seen. And if everything is true in the docuseries, these two scumbags should be in prison too. But overall, let's get back to it. If you haven't seen it, check it out. You'll be amazed at the redneck shit going on and the levels that these people go to be famous and important in their own little world. And the feuding back and forth between Carol and Joe Exotic is hilarious, although sad. And I think you would enjoy it if you like watching train wrecks. And who doesn't watch like a good train wreck? And look, it's bringing the country together. Everybody's talking about it. And there's memes. You can't go on Facebook without seeing a Joe Exotic meme or a Tiger King meme or a Carol Baskins a bitch meme. I mean, they're everywhere, and it's hilarious. And like I said, you're stuck at home, check it out. A lot of people have Netflix. Just watch it. I think it's worth watching just for a laugh and just the crazy shit that goes on. You'll be shaking your head going, I can't believe I just saw that. But it's true. So I would recommend Tiger King. I'm not going to give it a rating. I would just recommend it. Check it out. That's it for me. That was my commentary on Tiger King and Yuengling Bear. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up. I'd greatly appreciate it. Subscribe here. Join me. I try to release a bunch of videos every week, and I will be back soon with another video. You take care of yourself and have a great night.